Steiny and Guru. We are now joined by Mark Willard and Dan Dibley. It is the crossover.
Man.
Camoody.
Where did we start?
Camoody was really...
I like Camoody. I think we stick with it. If Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift get one of these...
He's so erratic.
Why can't Kuminga... Totally.
You know, he's making shots, but then he misses a hook shot, but he makes 4 in a row. I need Camoody to be a little more solid.
No, I thought that was last segment.
It's better than Moinga. Stick with Camoody. It sounds better.
Why did Camoody come out?
Well,
that bothered me.
We'll ask. That bothered everybody.
We'll ask. It didn't bother you.
It didn't bother me because that's who he is.
It's who is. Oh, Steve Kerr.
Yeah,
okay.
Like, wow. I look at the bigger picture. It was. Could you make a case for Moody? Absolutely. But like this is part of going all in with everybody, right? I mean, this is
yes and no.
I guess.
Yes,
I'm all ears, man. Yeah, it didn't. Let's go back to Steve's own words preseason, which was that the finishing lineup was going to be something that we assess night to night.
Let me hit that. I have that right
here.
Because we didn't play this, and we probably should have.
Hit it, Steiny.
It's Guru's fault.
I thought both Kuminga and GP were defending at a high level, and obviously you got to guard Kevin and Book out there, and so it felt like those guys were defending well, and so we went with them, and that's how it's going to be a lot of nights this year. It's like whoever's playing the best will finish the game.
Think of that sentence.
That's a great pull, man.
Inject that sentence into last night. Whoever's playing best is going to finish the game. Well, that's not what happened. That's not what happened last night.
Well,
so I get
Moses Moody was playing the best.
Yes.
And he didn't finish the game.
That's what I'm saying. It did not happen last night that whoever's playing best finishes the game.
The question is
not
why?
last night.
Why?
Well I didn't feel did you guys feel satisfied by his answer?
No. It was
neither did I. Like, I was totally ready to accept, okay, you needed Andrew's defense, and then everyone's going, and we just decided to stick with Clay.
Oh, man. Yeah, no doubt.
That's not what, it's not what the people wanted.
No, but it's what they decided. They decided to stick with Clay. Yep. So is that a deal breaker for you? Is that something where you look at the head coach and you go, well, because of that, he's got to go? And I saw a lot of it, and I looked at your post on Instagram, your 4-minute post, which was at parts hilarious. Yeah. It was a spoken word, and you referenced pop instead of props. I got to give pops. Yeah. I mean props. Well, pops. He's in the house. I'm in the garage. I thought it was great. You played it off really well, and it was spoken word. It was open form, and then I got to the comments, and there's so many comments like, "That's why Kerr's got to go." That's why Kerr's out of here.
And I'm not saying that. Nobody's saying
that. Come on.
Yeah.
But I do think there is a bigger question about, is he the coach if and when this team starts a transition?
Yeah,
I think that's a very fair question to ask.
And when is the transition? Yeah, I think is the question. Well, because, I was looking at your post on X or Twitter and, some of the comments about, whether or not that transition is actually already happening. Is it already over? And if it's already over, then maybe the transition's already begun.
Well, I believe that Joe Lacob thought before the season this team had a championship opportunity. They had a chance. So do other teams. I feel like at some point they're going to continue to maintain that, or they're going to change their mind at some point. And when they change their mind, if they do that, what's that mean? Well, what does that mean?
Yeah. There's a bunch of transitions. One of them's already underway.
The Clay?
The financial.
Oh, yes.
Financial transition's already underway. That's what Jordan Poole for Chris Paul meant in some respects. So that transition's already underway. That gives you the flexibility to do whatever it is you're going to do next. And yes, the next big question obviously is Clay. For me, the basketball quote-unquote transition is what I find really interesting because this right now feels like a broken record. And that doesn't mean necessarily it's anyone's fault, but this feels like a broken record.
Last year, Steiny says.
Even go from last year to this year. How many press conferences are you going to do with Too many turnovers, too many fouls. How many press conferences is Draymond going to do? I need to do a better job of keeping my cool on the court. How many press conferences is Klay Thompson going to do with everybody needs to be patient and I'm going to find my shot? I've earned that. This stuff can all be true, and it can also wear everybody out at the exact same time. And so for me, the question is, when do you do something different? I don't even know what the something is.
That's the follow-up question. No, what is the something different?
I don't know. But
is
just
it
something different?
Bring Klay off the bench?
I don't know.
Is it don't finish with Klay when Moody's playing great?
Or when someone's hot, stick with them, no matter what their name is or how many years they've played in the league.
Right. And, if you do that last night, what does that do for Klay's confidence in terms of, where he is? Because you mentioned this yesterday. You did a whole thing yesterday, and our whole show became about a 3-letter word, joy. And you watched Klay last night, and he's not playing with joy.
No.
And you saw him on a number of different occasions get mad at himself, at the ball, at the rim.
The Curry shot. Watch his hands go.
Yeah.
Like, I'm open. It's both hands. I told you, was it that he missed and they lost, or was it he didn't get the pass? And Willard, I believe it was because he didn't get the pass. And he just threw his hands down like,
right.
Oh, I needed it.
Yeah.
I wanted it.
Needed it. Wanted it, all that and more. And, you look at the Steve Kerr challenge earlier in the quarter, which
that hurt me.
And Steve actually has said to us a number of different times he doesn't like instant replay. He doesn't like the challenge system. And, yet you go out and you challenge a play that is really probably not going to go your way, and you burn your last time out. And so now when Sacramento scores on some bull shift bank shot from 17.
Sidearm.
Monk, dude, that was just
that.
I mean, if that happens on the playground, you might get beat up for throwing that in.
That thing was uglier than some of the stuff we saw at Chase yesterday.
No doubt.
I mean, unbelievable.
Steiny, think about your days playing pickup. If you're down 10-9, game to 11, and somebody throws that in to beat you, that person might get beat up on the way to the car.
No, but I would be like, you gotta be
blanking kidding me. Seriously. And yet you have no timeouts, and so now it's going to be, Steph Curry dribble.
Did that have something to do with the two turnovers that they didn't have that timeout?
Well, and this is my thing, and I'll get into this more from 2 to 6, but can we run a press break? Is it our first time facing pressure? The chef. I mean, that press break was
CYO,
dribble, panic, and I'm going to throw a hook pass 47 feet to no one.
It was wild.
And it happened against the Spurs Friday, but it was like, it's the Spurs, the ending.
Yep.
And now it came back to get you.
I just feel like we're watching so many basketball games that become about something other than winning the game. It's like we're watching, can Klay work his way out of this? Can Andrew try? Can they not turn the ball?
Andrew, dude.
Andrew was great.
Put some respect on his name.
Andrew was great, but
he's back.
It becomes about all
exactly.
It becomes about all this other stuff,
right?
And so here's what kind of comes to mind when you say, "All right, if you stick with Moody, what's this going to do to Klay's mentality?" You know what's interesting with that question, because a lot of people are asking it. I feel like we've asked it over and over.
Right.
What about Klay's mentals? All right. If you're truly going to sit up there and have press conferences and talk about what you've earned, and you're going to hold up 4 fingers at the Suns, and you're going to be, I'm a champion, I'm a champion, I'm a champion. If you're that great, how is it that most of the fan base doesn't think you can handle a little constructive criticism? Now, I'll grant you there's a lot of junk that gets said about Klay and social media and everything where the disrespect is very high. And so I understand it if Klay is upset. That's not even my point. Why are we so worried? It's like we walk on eggshells. We did it with Chris Paul. Oh my God, he's going to come off the bench. We do it with Klay. What happens? What happens if you sit him down at the end of a game? Is he going to be able to recover? If these guys are the champions that we and they tell us they are, and we know they are.
He's got 4 rings. He showed you.
So how the hell would he not be able to handle that? He's handled stuff way harder than that.
It's a contract year, Mark. And I don't think that bench players get max deals. So
he's not getting a max deal.
Man.
What?
Because the scoreboard or
Wait,
the contract,
Not getting a max
is
deal.
winning right now with this play.
Who gets max deal in your mid-30s coming off of major injuries and performing lesser?
Well, you don't
teams have smartened up.
You get less money when you come off the bench. When you're a plucky 6th man or you're a 7th man.
I have the hardest time worrying about these guys' money. It's the same reason I thought the whole in-season tournament was ridiculous.
Well,
was everybody else rooting for the Warriors to win by less than 12?
You think Guy Santos wouldn't like $500,000?
Is he even going to be there when they go next week if they had made it? I was rooting.
You think TDP wouldn't want $500,000 or Pojumski?
I'm sure they would.
Of course they would.
And they're still going to be
Think
okay.
about the kids, Mark.
I wanted the Warriors to win by 10 because I
saw that. And you actually put the mush on them.
Oh, you didn't want the 12.
You put the mush on them. If you believe in the mush, you mush them.
The tournament, Vegas.
Why does that help you? In what way does that help Warrior basketball? Give me one reason.
Because Steph was so invested in it that they had him mic'd up, and at 4 different junctures during that game, he told his guys that was something. That was like, you know what? It ain't the finals, but it's an opportunity for us to go win something and remind everybody.
Okay.
That's how I took it.
And
Curry was saying it.
As a fan, I couldn't care less.
I get that.
You should care more because the chef.
Any player who badmouths the in-season tournament shall be fined herewith. That was in a memo. There's no doubt about it.
No doubt. There's no doubt about it.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union.
I'm putting the voodoo on them, just so you know.
I'm sitting there looking
if
at
you
this
believe
game.
in jinxes, then the L goes to Willard with 2 L's.
My man Dibs. I'm looking at this game.
You tweeted that, and I was
Hang
like,
on.
oh, my God.
What's happening?
Oh, my God,
What's
my
happening
brother.
next Wednesday night? What's happening? A freebie. An absolute bunny in the standings.
You sure?
We don't know that anymore.
Well, exactly.
Thank you, Guru.
Hell of a lot better than
CP
playing
my
the
knee.
Suns. Playing the Suns in some Fakakta tournament, and potentially, if you play well,
I like focaccia.
I do too. Yeah. If you a little oil, in
Underrated bread.
if you happen to go to this Fakakta tournament and play well, you get an extra game that doesn't count for anything. Where GP2 or CP3 or anybody else could come up lame. Miss me.
But Mark, you're sending a message to the league that the Warriors, we're still here.
Exactly.
We know it's the
We're
end.
back.
They wanted that.
They
wanted that.
I
They
love
gave
you.
me that, though.
I love you. If I had a nickel for every time you send a message, like, come on, man.
No, Curry
I don't need
did.
messages. I need wins.
Don't laugh at that, Steiny.
Give me Portland on a Wednesday night. I don't need Phoenix next week because I'm chasing 500K
You're giving
for
us
Guy
the fan
Santos.
perspective.
I don't care.
But give me
what
Curry.
other perspective is there?
Curry's. They wanted that.
I'm with Steiny. He's doing a great job of playing the character in the show that he's in.
Wanted it.
They wanted it bad. There's a reason why Steph Curry was misty-eyed in the postgame. His dream died. What's the one thing he doesn't have on his resume?
Tournament.
It's an IST crown.
It's a second NBA Finals MVP.
He's looking for that first 83-game season.
Yeah,
That's what he wants.
Yeah.
You know, the winner
No
gets
doubt.
an extra.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
It's
players
all
have had
that.
an 83-game season. Last year, somebody
The
had.
in-season tournament, if you're the Warriors, you're an aging team.
Yeah.
You have nothing to prove. Your stars have more money than God. The in-season tournament was something I was actively rooting against.
See, I didn't know
If you
that.
got more money
Actively.
than God, Clay, why are you so mad? Because you've made $260 million.
That last shot by
I don't
And-
know. We asked that yesterday. I don't know.
Maybe we could reach out to his father and you could ask him why his son is so mad.
I'll tell you what, I've
do that
noticed
right now.
I've noticed this. And
Hey, Michael, why is your son so mad?
Goo, at the beginning of the show, you were talking about Clay. You know, you may have looked at the last play a little different.
Yeah.
And I actually thought Clay was going up for the 3-point win.
No, he was going. I'm open. I'm open.
Yeah, and now it's the end of the show, and it's official. Clay, according to you, was pissed at Curry because he didn't throw him the ball. And
He did the pouty. He did the pouty. I didn't get it. And if it went in, I ain't gonna do nothing. I don't like the vibes coming off from the team and the coach.
How could you?
And I love Coach Kerr.
Yeah, I don't know that they like him.
A week ago, Pajinski has to play. And I said this to him yesterday. I didn't think it was cool if I were Moody or Kuminga, and no shaded Pajinski, but he had a good game. And my coach is going to go to the podium and say, "Oh, I got to fit him in. I got to play him," because that's how it sounded. And then Moody's having the fourth quarter of his life. You need every point, but he can't finish. That's the type of stuff that festers, man. And I just don't get it. And Kuminga, I'm rooting for him, but I just don't think it's a fit. With this brand of basketball and what he does or what he wants to do, Willard, I'm no longer Forrest Gump at the bus stop for Kuminga. If it happens, it happens, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, if it doesn't happen and he does go somewhere else, how do you envision the Kuminga arc going? Because right now we've seen Jordan Poole, and it's dribble, look at me, wonderful, shoot the three, no look, maybe draws iron, not. Jordan Poole is one of the worst players in
and I look at
the association
every day. Man.
Guru, look at his field goal percentage, and I did it yesterday with Mark.
What is
and
it?
you looked at the field goal percentage among qualifying players. Klay Thompson is 8th to last, and he's he's one spot away from Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole is 7th to last. And then you look at James Wiseman, who's gone on to play elsewhere, and he's milk carton. He's team milk carton, and he's about half a season away from going to Barcelona or going to the real CBA, which is the Chinese Basketball Association. His NBA tenure is about over. So I ask you, if Kuminga does go elsewhere, does he become immediately 18-8, or are we seeing the Jonathan Kuminga that is going to be the Jonathan Kuminga?
If you put Kuminga on the Bulls or that Wizard team, I think we could see 18-8. I think we could see 16-6. The team would be crap. The team would be crap.
Yeah.
But I believe I wouldn't want to throw the Rockets in there, but they're playing now.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting though? We say that as if because we said that about Poole.
Yeah.
Oh, his numbers will go up. They've gone down.
But
down.
But
a great floor game last night to win.
But no, hold on. I'm gonna say this about Poole. I think the humiliation of the punch, and I'll get off of shout out Hawaiian.
Yeah.
I think that ruined him. That ruined.
It ruined the Warriors too.
Was it you that sent me that?
Ruined the Warriors too.
Yeah,
Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce.
No, Steiny don't like Garnett, but it was real.
They're talking about Jordan Poole.
I sent it to all three of you.
I mean, it's almost like the former players.
What did you learn
are
here?
Embarrassed that he's even in the league. I mean,
he's headed that way.
They almost feel like they take it personal,
dude.
That someone would have the gifts that he has,
sure,
and end up on a roster like the Warriors, win a championship as the young player, as opposed to being the key player.
Oh man!
And then when he gets his own shot, this is what he does with it. They were offended.
No doubt about it.
They're offended by Jordan Poole.
I think that Jordan Poole's been listening to you, Mark, and all you talk about is shoot your shot. It's all you got. And that's what Jordan Poole's doing. So I put this on you.
By 6 o'clock, it's already the third quarter on the East Coast.
Point.
Yeah,
you think Curl be in a good mood today?
Yeah, he's going to be all sunshine.
He said it wasn't free fall. Shout out Petty. Tom Petty, we brought that up earlier.
It's not free fall at this point of the year.
You had to bring, where'd that come from?
Somebody asked him.
It's something.
Yeah.
This is not good.
It's more than a speed bump. I don't know. In between speed bump and free fall, Steiny, you're a wordsmith. I don't know what that term would be. Because it's more than a hiccup. I think if we go up the ladder, there's a hiccup. It's like, oh, and my baby gets a hiccup, and it's so cute, and it's like, okay.
Troubling trend?
I think it's a disruption in the force.
You go hiccup, and then you go speed bump, and then we're not all the way to free fall, and then beyond free fall is like dumpster fire, and we get into actual things where it's it's over.
You know all those doctor shows where they show the little heartbeat monitor?
Beep, beep,
skip the beat.
Beep.
I'm going to raise Steiny's blood pressure here because I need
Team
you to have my
AFib.
back.
Yeah.
Team AFib.
Exactly.
Let me guess. I know this is going to be about yesterday's contest.
Oh, no, not at all. It's about Draymond Green and how he's been. He has improved one facet of his game, his three-point shot. And Steiny went in on me earlier about I know he's not the same defender.
Draymond had a big three in that fourth quarter, all alone, top of the circle.
And I'm not even mad at him but the one from the side of the glass, the offensive repertoire is not there. What
do you mean it's not there? I thought he's been working on his shot.
No, I thought he had the ha-ha.
My point is, in the games he's played, he's been okay. Willard Steiny's beaten him down.
Yeah, and he's okay. That's not a championship player.
No, he's been good at basketball and bad at emotions.
When you're wow.
That's what Draymond has been. And that's what I mean by this is a broken record. It's 5-game suspension, apology press conference. I have to be better. 3 quarters later, technical foul. And again, I'll say the same thing I always say when we do this. I'm not surprised. You know what I was surprised by when people, that was a soft tech. I was surprised it took the refs that long. He was riding them for about 4 possessions.
No.
Yeah.
No, he was just speaking his mind, Mark.
Yeah, exactly.
And you don't think that words should lead to text.
I don't. But those
are just words.
But that's my opinion, and I know that it's not the way texts work. I was surprised that it took the refs as long as it did. And so, again, I don't get offended by Draymond Green because he's the same guy every day.
But the Warriors don't. So that's why I don't.
I don't know. But the point is, it doesn't even matter anymore if we accept Draymond for who he is. The point is we're on a goose chase. We're on a goose chase for I'm going to act better. He's not, and we'll do the press conference, and then he won't. And then the press conference, and he won't. So the question isn't for us anymore. It's for the Warriors. When are you going to do something different, if at all? If at all.
With Draymond?
If at all.
With Draymond or in general?
I think it's centered on Draymond and Clay.
You re-signed them.
It's centered on them. Because
trade him.
There's only 3 immovable objects. Andrew, as you pointed out yesterday, when he was playing so bad, what'd they do? It took him off the floor.
Right.
They did this earlier in the year. But there's 3 people. One of them never challenges you because he's just Mr. Perfect. The other 2, though, are challenging the organization right now, and they have never done anything different. They just, and I get it, this is one way to play it. We're just going to have their back every time, every day.
It's funny that you say that because when Draymond got the tech, you immediately saw Steph go over to him and kind of like, enough. That's what I read it as. Like, dude, enough, okay? You got teed up, and whatever Steph was saying, the body language was like, dude, enough, Draymond. Enough, stop, dude. Please, just stop. So when Steph decides that, it's time for Draymond to go, he gone. But until then...
You're not going to decide that.
Well, then this whole conversation is a non-starter.
No, it's
There's
not.
an expression in politics, 4 more years, 4 more years. Yes, Steiny, and I know, I hate to bring it home to your plate, but it's like when you elect a president that you don't like, you got 4 years of this guy.
Well, but the difference is that when
December 15th,
when the president gets 4 years, the president will be the president the whole time. Draymond has 4 years, but his role is not in cement unless the Warriors decide it is.
Unless Steph decides it is.
That is the Warriors.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah, but
yes,
until Steph says, you know what, Mike, it's time to run this guy out, he's going to be here.
Well, but I mean, there's something in between running him out of town and letting him run the town. There's something in between.
Shout out Rihanna.
Thank you. It's a 4.
Yeah,
and he does run this town.
Who's going to run this town tonight?
Hey.
I'll do what I can.
Thank you. You're doing
all
great.
right, gents. We got
Steve Kerr.
I think it's time to go. Steve Kerr and everybody, and let's we'll get this thing under control. I know we will.
Oh, by the way,
95.
no. I texted Michael.
And?
He's not coming on today.
God bless.